How does Putin stay as leader for so long? He makes sure no other candidates get media coverage, and that's if he doesn't disqualify them altogether. You've probably heard of Alexei Navalny, who died in a Siberian prison yesterday. He once ran against Putin for president. You can see how that went for him. Have you noticed that powerful people in Russia who question his authority seem to die in plane crashes, in Siberian prisons, or fall out of 7th-floor windows? I guess Putin is just really lucky. Putin is a former KGB agent, so he has more knowledge on how to intimidate his own people by decree, and since it's the 21st century, his lackeys can exploit modern technology to seek out dissidents more easily than Russian autocrats of the past. He kills opposition leaders. A lot of Russian boomers and Xers love the concept of the strong hand, not understanding a correlation between the strong hand, wars and deaths. Russia is considered an autocracy at this point. Any semblance of a democratic system is just a smoke show. I see many great arguments, but I think the major one is overlooked here. Russia has little experience with democracy. They went from czars to communist dictators. Their only experience with democracy was a negative one. Gorbachev's democratic reforms led to the fall of the USSR, and Russia came out smaller and weaker. Yeltsin's presidency wasn't a positive experience either. Under Putin, general welfare got better. He's what Russian society perceive as a strong, capable leader. Russians have a fundamentally different worldview, partly influenced by a propaganda machine. In Western societies, we see democracy and rule of law as the ultimate, best model. But not all cultures' societies see it that way. Controversial, but true. His main opponent just died in prison. Rigged elections, total control of the Russian media, and a willingness to murder anyone who speaks against him, no matter how obvious it looks. That's pretty much it. He's a dictator. All his opposition commits suicide, usually by throwing themselves out their nearest window. Easy when you're the one that rigged the system. He has power over the oligarchs, the mafia, and the military. Both in the form of money, and the fact that he will kill you if you go against him. And lots of the public believe his lies. They think he will make Russia great again, and so, let him stay in power. Also, he will kill you if you go against him. Russia isn't a true democracy and their elections are shams. I used to really be baffled by this question. Then I lived through my own country the last 8 years and realized I have no faith in any government system. Well, the last person that was running against Putin was thrown in jail and just died under mysterious circumstances. It's strange. That keeps happening. Maybe next time. The book Why Nations Fail is good. Systems that hold power to account matter. Generally, successful nations have multiple sources of power that hold each other to account. Independent press, rule of law, banking system, etc. When there is a single source of power, it tends to start sucking up all the resources, and innovations that don't benefit that single source of power tend to die. First, Russia is a young country. The Russia of today exists only since 1991. For the first 2 terms Boris Yeltsin was president. After he resigned, Putin became president without getting elected. After that, he just stayed in power. He got elected for 2 terms, then his best buddy got elected and changed the law so that Putin could get elected for a 3rd time. After that, Putin changed the law again, and now a term is 6 years, and his 2 terms that he had again don't count, and he can get elected till his death. He became a president in 2000, when Russia was in civil war in Chechnya. Russian army was almost destroyed as an institute. Russia had no factories, no money, and no strength. Lots of people had no job. For now, Russia much more powerful than it was in 2000. In general, people become more rich. I mean, they can buy cars, houses, etc. Does a new leader get picked once Putin dies? Typically yes. Or they got some military activities which brings replacing one czar to another. greater than do they not have elections every so years to decide on a new leader? No, they have elections to prolong current leader's term. Have you noticed a nuance?